The Paris vampire Paris in the 1990s was alive with art, cafes, and the hum of night. But beneath the glow of its boulevards, something far darker prowled, something that would later be whispered about as if it were only legend. His name was Nicolas Clos, though he would become known by another name, the Vampire of Paris. Clos was no ordinary man. Pale, with piercing eyes and an unsettling calm, he had an obsession that went far beyond the morbid curiosities of death. By day, he worked quietly in a morgue, surrounded by the silence of the dead. By night, his hunger gnawed at him, a hunger that no ordinary meal could satisfy. He confessed later that the temptation had started small. The smell of iron in the air, the way blood pooled and gleamed under dim lights. Soon he could not resist. He drank it. The first taste was enough to ensure there would be no return to normalcy. But his cravings grew darker. Working in the morgue gave him access not only to the bodies, but to what they offered. He admitted to slicing flesh from the dead, chewing it slowly, savoring the texture as if it were nothing more than meat on a plate. To Clos, the morgue was not a place of rest for the departed, it was a hidden banquet. Yet even that was not enough. In 1994, Paris police discovered the true extent of his hunger. Behind his calm demeanor lay a killer, one who had lured a man into the shadows and shot him, later confessing that it was not merely the thrill of murder but the satisfaction of feeding from a body while it was still warm. When investigators finally raided Clos' apartment, they were not prepared for what they found. Inside were blood-stained medical instruments, bags of stolen blood from hospitals, and human remains carefully kept as trophies. His refrigerator contained not food, but remnants of his grotesque feasts. Clos admitted it all, without shame, without remorse. He called himself a vampire, living proof that the creatures of folklore had found new life in the modern world. To this day, people argue whether Clos was merely a murderer with cannibalistic tendencies, or whether something darker lived inside him, something ancient that had chosen Paris as its hunting ground. The scariest part? He is still alive. Released from prison years later, he walks freely, blending with the living once more. Somewhere in Paris, among the cafes and crowded streets, Nicolas Clos, the Vampire of Paris, might be passing by unnoticed, his hunger forever whispering in his veins. And when night falls, no one can be certain if he has truly fed for the last time.